Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Moss Valley episode number 9 with me, Strategy Simulation Samurai. You'll remember on the last episode we did some horse riding, sorted out the horses. Previously to that we'd done some massive contracts which enabled us to try and build up our farm profile. That's worked pretty well. This morning, not worked so well. I actually jumped on, made a big error. Didn't save the game before I decided to jump onto filming. Made a bit of an error there. Second error, I bought a header for this harvester that was far too big and did not work with it. So I scrapped that recording. I still got it, so if anybody jumps on and wants, you do actually want me to put the bloopers on, then I can do that. But yeah, so you'll notice that there's 5% in the tank for this harvester. That's because we managed to harvest a tiny weeny bit, but quite frankly it just went atrociously wrong. So, you know, live and learn. Best thing next time, save before you do a recording. So we're back at the store. We haven't missed anything else. That's all I was doing. It was just starting off on the harvesting, but made an error, so started recording again, and this is where we are. We did buy as you can see in the foreground, a Rudolph trailer. So that trailer cost us approximately £19,000. It's got 24, I think it is 24 point something litres or cubic meters storage space. So that will be our main trailer for transporting our harvested wheat. Of course, we've got that little trailer back at the farm, but that won't be anywhere near big enough for what we need it to do. So that's where we got to, and I'll show you what happened. So in here, in the store, we went in and I thought, you know what, I'm going to buy this header. I could afford it. So the other thing to say is as well, I've kind of lost about 13,000 in making that mistake, so it's quite a costly one. But I thought, we've got a class, why don't I get this one? 10.8 meters wide. It's pretty good. It's a class. It'll work. It doesn't work because the harvester that I've got basically wasn't heavy enough. So it was this header was too heavy for the harvester that I've got. So yeah, it didn't work. It wasn't cutting up the wheat properly enough. It wasn't harvesting it very well. I was getting small little sections and running over everything else. Additionally to that, I then tried to get it through the fields. Quite frankly, it was just a nightmare. So anyway, here we are. Lost £13,500, lost a morning's worth of work, but it is what it is. So what we will be purchasing is this class C510 for £8,500. I've clicked on the combinations and it works with our Dominator 108 SL Maxi. So do you know what? If it says combinations, I'd probably advise you to stick with combinations. So we're going to purchase this for £8,500. We're going to connect it up to our Dominator harvester, and we're going to go and do the work that I tried to do about, well, quite frankly, about 10 minutes ago. I had to not restart. I wanted to restart, but because I hadn't saved the game, I was going to lose too much, really. So never mind. Anyway, we're here. So we're going to take our harvester and our new formed header up to our field, and we are going to harvest the field, and we're going to take our wheat that we've harvested, not to sell, but if you remember in the last episode, we are doing productions. So we're going to take our wheat over to the flour mill, start the productions. So that will cost us a little bit per day, but you know, not a lot. And once we've started the productions and we can start to see flour coming in, that then will feed onto the bakery, which we will need to purchase. But in the meantime, I will still be doing some contracts to keep our income flowing in. Now, this is going to be a little bit tight down here, so unfortunately, got to be careful because we've got a wall on the right hand side. So these roads really aren't particularly easy to sort of drive about on, but you know, that's all the fun of it, and that's what it's really like, I suppose. So in we go. Right, let me just try and get around this corner. So it's not going to allow me in the field that way, so I'm going to have to go in through oh, we're going to get stuck again. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Do you know what? I think we are in a bit of trouble. What are we stuck on? Let's have a look. Are we stuck on the back? We're stuck on the back. Right, okay, we're free. Sorry guys, I'm having a bit of a nightmare this morning. On here. Ah, we're in. Excellent. Okay, good. So, we're going to start our harvesting. Let's lower this header down. We're going to turn on the harvester. You'll notice that I have enabled the straw swath. Well, I will do when we get a little bit further into the field. I do like to try and utilise all of the income that we can, so we're going to turn the harvester on now. We're going to make our way through here, and then once we've now made the start, I will enable that straw swath. I'm going to give it a go with the little skid steer that we've got. And if that doesn't work and we decide that that's just not very effective, then for now we might turn the straw swath off and come back later on with something a little bit different. But for now, that's what we're going to try. So we are on our first mission, our first little venture into our own farm. It's the first time we've done any work properly, you know, arable land work on our own farm. Previously we've just been doing contracts. It's taken a little bit longer than I sort of anticipated to be able to get to this point, because, well, this morning in game time was a little bit of a write-off, but that's, you know, these things happen, don't they? So not to worry. We'll try and make light work of this field as swiftly as we possibly can. There we go. Back on. Can I get underneath this tree? That would be quite nice if I could. Oh, I can. Excellent. I can just keep a nice straight track. And I'm sure anybody that plays Farming Simulator will agree, there is nothing like harvesting your own crops. So as you can see, guys, this is sort of where I started off earlier today when I did the first run that went horrendously wrong. Unfortunately, we did lose, well, we gained 5%, so we didn't lose all of it, but we certainly did lose a fair amount of crop. But never mind, these things happen. It's a good sized field, we'll still get a decent crop out of it. Hopefully it's a relatively, it looks like a relatively high yield actually, considering how much of the field we've sort of done. This field costs about £25,000. Can't remember exactly the size in acreage, but we'll have a look in a moment when we stop for our first drop off. We'll have a look at the acreage and see where we're at with that. The bits that I missed, guys, I'll come back and pick up at a later point. I like to sort of do circles, for at least for the first maybe 3 runs or so. When it gets a little bit tighter, so the top end's not so bad at the moment. When it gets a little bit tighter, I do then start to go and do rows. I think it makes it a little bit easier than constantly backwards and forwards around the corners. Not to say that's the right way or the wrong way, but generally I don't lose much, if any, crop, which is of course the kind of main thing really when you're harvesting. You want to make sure you harvest as much crop as you possibly can. It looks like there's a little scarecrow over in the background there on the left hand side, or somebody walking. So we're up to 91%, so we are almost there with this particular load. And once we've done this load, what should be nice if we can get down as far as we can towards the entrance, because I need to nip down and go and collect the trailer, and of course the trailer is currently attached to my cart, so I will have to wander down, have a walk down to the store, which isn't too bad, it's not too far. So that's hopefully 100% done, so we'll just turn that off there. Not done too bad a job here at the moment. So 7,500 litres of wheat there, and obviously we've got our straw as well to add on to that, which would be quite nice. Again, you know, we were talking about self-sufficiency in the last episode with the horses especially. Obviously they do need some straw, so if we can put some of that straw into the barn, we can then not have to worry about buying any further bales of straw, so that'll save us a little bit of money too. We'll just head down the lane. So when I said about the garden centre as well, so the garden centre is here, they're just over there by the cars and the bunker. That's where we will be selling our bread once it's gone through the whole production line that we want it to. Back at the store, collect our car. Ooh. Attach up the trailer. I do find this slightly strange. Pretty much all the cars on Farming Simulator, they're pretty much all left-hand drive, which as somebody from the UK, when we are right-hand drive, it's a little bit off-putting actually, but there we go. So we're going to head into our field. We're going to go over here. Lovely. I'll pop back into our harvester, turn it on. We are going to pipe out. We're going to just take a look outside because I can't see whether. There we go, there we go. So as you can see, guys, we've still got a good 50%-ish of the field left to go. So I'd say we're yielding about 15,000 litres, which, you know, that's pretty decent to be fair, for one field. Then the next port of call will be looking to see whether during this particular sowing season, whether we can potentially purchase any more of the fields that are available to us. So we're looking at field 14 and 15. I think 15 is there, 14 is that one in the background. So ideally field 15 first. because that will obviously help us out in the long run with our production. So off we go again, get harvesting on our crop. Have a bit of radio on whilst we're at it. Bit of rock music. Do like a bit of rock music. Talking about rock music, went to see Green Day at the weekend. Sort of gives away, but I suppose it doesn't actually. I was going to say it gives away which date it was, but I'm not going to tell you where I went. So yeah, I went to see Green Day in concert the other day, and they were absolutely spectacular. I have never. I've been to a few concerts and I've never been to one quite like that. The crowd was in the palm of their hands. But Billy Joe Armstrong, if you know Green Day, the lead singer, was quite emotional actually. I think it really hit him with the fact that it was obviously their 30 years of Dookie and 20-year anniversary of American Idiot albums, and he was just absolutely in bits. And I don't think there was a dry eye in the whole stadium when he sang When September Ends. It was just an incredible night, and I do think as well he was very, very emotional at the end. He was on his knees with obviously with the kind of reaction of the fans and the crowd. It was a special day. But very, very genuine, real honest guy. He's obviously had his troubles in the past, but you know, who hasn't in some form or another, whether it's addictions or just general troubles or things that have happened in family life, etc., etc. But a real genuine guy, and I've got absolute admiration for him, the way that he's come through his problems and the way that he talks about them, and the way that he is very much there to support other people as well. And we were part of the concert. I mean, obviously, if you know Green Day, one of their biggest songs is Boulevard of Broken Dreams on the American Idiot album, and there was clearly an issue in the crowd. One of the crowd were down. And he stopped halfway through Boulevard. When you're mid song, rocking it out, performing, and somehow you can still see and have that appreciation for your fans and their safety, and have absolutely no qualms in pausing your show, and then being able to hit straight back in. And lift the crowd again after what had happened without, as if there was no break whatsoever. It was just absolutely fantastic. You know, what an absolute, quite frankly, an absolute legend. And I have to say, yes, okay, don't get me wrong, they've made some money on that evening, but they played 2.5 hours through, with, I would say, probably no more than 10 to 15 minutes break between, you know, when I say break, they just had like water breaks here and there, probably 3 or 4 water breaks, and that was it. You know, there was no real talking in between. There was a little bit, but not a lot. And there was no sort of, you know, going off, having an interval, crowd singing. Obviously the crowd was singing their heads off, but just constant, 2.5 hours constant, and what a performance, you know, genuinely what a performance. So it's got to be, quite frankly, probably the best, if at least one of the best, but probably the best gigs that I've actually been to. The other being a band called Shinedown. I don't know if anybody knows or has heard of them, but they're an American band, and they were quite incredible as well to watch. So yeah, if you get a chance, certainly recommend listening to, obviously I would imagine a lot of people know about Green Day, but if you've never heard of Shinedown before and you're a fan of rock, which somehow managed to get onto this whole conversation through switching the radio on, feel free, you know, do check them out. They are pretty impressive, and yeah, a couple of absolute bunch of wonderful people as well. So turn the straw swath off for this last little bit, just picking up these couple of bits of crop that we've missed. I missed that one again, but never mind, I'm not going to come back to that one, so we'll get this down. You can see I'm lifting and dropping the header. It just makes the run through a little bit quicker when we're going between patches. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our first ever harvest on Moss Valley complete. Like I say, we had a little bit of a hiccup the first time that we went to do it, but you know, these things do happen. But we got there eventually, and I think we got a pretty decent crop out of that, to be honest. I think we're going to be, I'm just going to, don't need to turn that off because I want to pipe out. Leave that on. I'll go over here and pick up the trailer. We did have a small glitch this morning, but we got there eventually, and we've now managed to get to a position where we've got a decent load in here. Is that, I think that's going in, which it is, I reckon. Really not happened there. So our first load is complete. What we're going to do is we're going to take, once this is done, switch the harvester off. 24, 20, 2019 is going down quite nicely. We'll switch the harvester off. We're going to leave the harvester in this field for now. Like I said, I'm going to try and purchase, if we've got enough, which I think we will, purchase this field in front of us. There, which is field 15, ready for the next harvest. That's done, by the way, so I'm going to close that up, turn the engine off, jump into our our car, and our car is going to take, whoa, a little slippy, our car is going to take our crop to the storage. I think the issue that we've got at the moment is the weight in the back is probably quite a lot. It's probably dragging this car about left, right and centre, but that's alright, we can deal with that this time around, and we'll just learn for next time. That's probably not the best way forward, but we haven't got too far to go, so we'll be okay. Let's try and keep on the straight and narrow, or windy. Bit of skids around the corner, Bit of oh, okay, we're not keeping her on track like that. We're back on. We're all good. We're all good. We're all good. Come on, you can stay. You can stay. You can do this. Not using this next time, guys. We'll be using the tractor for sure. Bring her in down here. Slide around the corner. Try not to smash into that. That'll do nicely. Good thing is, it's got a lot of power, so that's not the issue. The issue is the weight in the back pulling it down, but we're here. And if we could just get to a point where I can't see out the back, so I'm going to have to change our view. I'm going to unload the trailer just here. Pop the wheat in there, guys. So that's going into our production plant. I'll just head over here and you'll be able to see what I mean. Click on this. We've now got 11,796 litres, plus it's still going up slightly in the storage tank. Now if we turn this on, which we need to do, we need to activate that. So we need to activate our wheat flour. That's now activated. The production, so it does 7,200 cycles every month. You can see it's already started. We've got 26 litres of flour storing. So for 5 litres of wheat, of which we have 13,000 odd, we will get 4 bags of flour and 1 bag of pig food. So what we will be doing is the 4 bags of flour, so really and truly, you sort of 1 for 1 near enough. The 4 bags of flour will be going into our production line, and the pig food will be sold straight off because at the moment we don't have any pigs. So that's the plan. So we'll leave that now to run through. Over time we'll see, so the pallets will come here and we can collect them. The good thing is that I think I should be able to collect them in the car, rather than having to bring the forklift down, which would be amazing, because, well, it'll save me a whole lot of time and a whole lot of stress. And then then we'll take it just up here to the bakery, so we'll go in that entrance just there on the right hand side. And then once that comes out of there, guys, we will then head up to the garden centre, which is on our right just here, and that's where the final sale product point will happen with the bread. But in the meantime, we will need to purchase the bakery. We don't have that production yet, we don't own that land, so we will need to purchase the bakery, which isn't a problem, but we just need to bear in mind that that's going to be £50,000 to do so. And without that, we've kind of lost our production line to making the bread, which, yeah, will bring us in a good hefty chunk of money. But it's now 17:26 in August. We've done what we needed to do today. We're going to leave the straw out there. It's not going to rain, so we'll be perfectly fine. It can stay out there and we can collect it at another point. I'm going to drop the trailer in, which again I'm going to have to shoot out of here and see where we can go. I think it's going to go nicely in one of these. Here. Out there slightly, back it back round again, so it's nice and easy to take out at a later point. And there we have it. So yeah, that was definitely a little bit too weighty, so we'll definitely be taking the tractor for that part next time, but that's okay, you live and learn. I'm going to park the car up here. I'm going to jump out. What I am going to do is I'm going to buy a hose so we can clean this down in the next episode. I'm going to check on the horses. I'm not going to ride them today. You know, it's one of those things that unfortunately they don't get ridden every day. It's just not practical. They've got plenty of food, plenty of straw. They're in a good place. It's good to see them. Good to see them walking around. But for today, we are done. So August, And year 2 is complete. We've done our first harvest. Tomorrow we will go and pick up the straw, and we will then go to see how the production's doing. We'll ride the horses out and we'll see whether there's any contracts. If there are some contracts, we'll probably pick those up so that we can at least purchase 15 as part of the next phase of our wheat production. Like I say, 14, 15, 13 should all be wheat in the near future. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate that was a little bit of a longer episode today, but I thought you might want to see the harvesting process from start to finish, given the fact that it's our first venture into agricultural work, arable land farming on our Moss Valley Let's Play. So thanks very much guys for watching. Like I say, as ever, subscribe, like, put some comments in the chat. Feel free to do as you wish, but it's been a pleasure having you on board, and I look forward to the next episode of Moss Valley Let's Play with me, Strategy Simulation Samurai. For now, thanks for watching. Goodbye. All the best.